Sasquatch isn't. He's got big feet, yeah. She's got big feet.
But he's got an even bigger cock.
Yeah. So they always are wondering why there's this like
micro-penis?
line between his feet. It's just not a tail. It's just his dong.
Yeah, just on Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
But I was like, hey, maybe he's not big. Maybe he's not 8 foot tall. She is.
I've seen the videos. He's big.
But maybe he could be like pygmy Bigfoot with giant ass feet, and people are searching high, and they always miss it because he's lower than the eyesight.
That'd be
I
hilarious.
like this.
I like that.
What if it's
Just
actually
a hobbit?
It's a hobbit.
I had an old science teacher who his name was Tex,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he was from Texas. And he had a glass.
Oh.
Well,
What? Don't say.
But in Australia, it was like interesting to see someone from the US
Yeah.
in your country. You're like
Name Tex.
Yeah.
Tex, and he had a glass eye, and he used to click it with his glasses all the time.
Did he get chestnut in his
He got nutted,
call back?
Not
chestnutted.
shrapnel. Not
No,
shrapnel.
yeah, that's what he said last
He
time.
used to be like, I can't even do a Texas accent, but he's like,
Yeah, you
everybody, can I? I can't. What would be the Texas
I don't
accent?
know. Actually don't.
Everybody get nice and close here.
Yeah, everybody gather around. We're gonna have a little good old fashioned shootout. Welcome to
Have you ever been to?
Big Tex car sale. Welcome to Wacky Wailing Arm Inflatable Tube Man.
You know what's funny about Texas is that they're all like, it's such a big fucking state. And it's the same size as the state that I'm from, which just means it's not very big. I'm like, fuck, your Texas isn't really that big.
It's not big. I always thought it was big.
It's a big state, but it's not huge. Like everything, I'm like, come to Australia. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states that are bigger than your Texas. But anyway, his name was
Shut up.
New South
No.
Wales is bigger than Texas. Victoria,
Australia, like Texas has got to be the size of Australia almost.
no. Australia is almost the size of the US.
No.
Australia is bigger than the entire continental Europe as well.
I could see that. I've seen like
I think we're the 6th largest continent in the world. So pretty
that
up,
right?
yeah, high up there. But anyway, Texas ain't that big.
I think as far as states go, though, you could say that Texas is probably up there for
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's one of the. Yeah.
behind Alaska.
because you got to think they have 50 in their country,
Yeah,
right? Like how many
bonkers.
provinces does Australia have?
0.
How many states does Australia have?
It's got 6 states and 2 territories.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost as good as Canada.
Let me see if I got that right. I probably got it wrong.
Yeah.
Queensland, state. So states first. Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, Western Australia.
They just fucking mailed it in at the end there, hey?
Northern
They're just like,
Territory.
everything's got a name, and they're like, I can't think of anything else. We'll just call it South Australia. We'll just call it.
Because in the south.
Yeah.
Northern Territory and the Australian Capital Territory. So there's 5. Did I say 6? Did I get it wrong? I named them all, but
You got it wrong.
I know them all. Just how many are there?
That's right.
5, 6, and then 2. Yeah.
6 and 2? So I was right.
You're right.
And that's why on the flag, there's a star on it. There's the Southern Cross, which I
Yeah.
dearly miss seeing in the sky.
Yeah.
But then they also have another star on the side, which is every point of it represents a state and a territory.
That's...
Flag facts.
Flag facts.
James might like that one.
He would, because he'd be able to pick out the Australian flag.
Would he? It's very similar to the New Zealand flag.
It is, yeah.
Um,
With the British flag in the corner.
Yeah, the old Union Jack. But anyway, Tex.
Yeah.
This is so far gone past the point of humor that I'm going to tell it anyway.
Yeah.
But he used to be like, and it was kind of weird to hear him say this, especially when you're teenagers and there's boys and girls around. He's like, everybody gather around, let's get intimate together.
Yeah.
Because
Get intimate together.
yeah,
Okay.
because look up the word intimate. Our brain thinks one thing.
Yeah.
He was like, no, intimate just means a gathering of people
Close.
close
Yeah, yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, whoa, we're going to get intimate. That's a little bit disconcerting, or fun times in science class, you know.
JT, you had something you wanted to talk about today?
I did. Well, I just wanted to know where you guys stood, but Hayden had chummed up and said that he had something you wanted to ask first. Because what I want to talk about, what's coming up, conspiracy theories. Okay, I wanted to talk a bit about conspiracy theories. So, but Hayden said he had something else. So maybe if that takes the whole time, we'll talk some conspiracies after.
Well, you know, usually how it goes with the things that I bring up. They're
funny.
They're very funny, but I won't say that because last week I learned something. Never lead off a conversation with, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
When I say it in a funny voice, which is apparently my usual voice. Side note, I used to work at a bookstore and a very large company here in Canada. Most people love it. Most people hate it because of the associations that the CEO has.
Can we say it or?
Yeah, Indigo Books, Indigo Chapters.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't know the why people hate it.
Oh, something to do with
you know?
Heather, the CEO, is associated with something that some people on some, I don't know it because I didn't give two shits about it, but one wing of political thinking didn't like what her association was with something. I don't get it. No.
Sure.
I never really looked into it. I just was like, we sell books. Books are good. We're not burning no books here. We're reading books.
Books are for learning.
So I don't know. Oh, anyway, so my side story of my story was that because I'm Australian, I have a different accent, and obviously you get many parents coming through with their kids and whatnot. And I was friends with one of the other ladies there, and she got really butthurt about what this woman said to me, and I didn't even think twice about it. But she's like, "Oh, listen to the man; he has a funny voice," because I had an accent, and she went like I don't know, she was about ready to tear this woman's head off because she's like, it's not a funny accent. It's like, it's a different accent. You don't say someone's voice is funny.
And was this the adult that said it?
This was the adult.
The adult said it to the kid.
The parent said it to the kid.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I think it is a
Adult said it to the kid.
I think that's bad.
Come on.
Because I've had instances with my children where they've said things innocently, because they don't know.
Sure.
And then we've had to like correct them about it. Like, oh, you know, we don't say it that way because that could, and not everybody, but that might hurt somebody's feelings if you say that. So, because we've had, honestly, like the same thing. Why does that person sound funny?
Yeah, you look weird.
Yeah.
Like, why does your friend Shao look so, why are eyes so squinty?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why your kids
I didn't want to
like
use
that.
that one.
Why are your eyes so squinty?
Yeah. Why am I sounding like this?
Why you sound like that?
Shao,
and then you're like,
how
Shao
was-
is from the Orient, and they just look like that.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sunny there, so their eyes are constantly squinting.
Why
And it
does
just
that explain why my
became-
eyes are so
They're
not
always
squinty?
they're always super sus over there.
Yeah,
They're all judgy.
Super sus.
Correct.
What is this white guy
What's your intention?
doing? Yeah, what's
what's
this
your
Japanese
intention?
guy
Yes,
doing on my land?
Yes.
But back to the not side story.
The main thread.
The main thread.
The main thread
Yeah.
was we discussed that we wanted to talk supernatural stuff, aliens.
Oh yeah.
Conspiracy theories. Anyway, I saw a clip on the gram because I'm cool and hip.
Yeah.
The lingo, the IG
Yeah.
on Instagram. Because I still watch.
But I'm still going to clarify it for.
I thought he meant he got a telegram.
I got on Telegram. It might have been. Stop.
That's Morse code. That's not a telegram.
Stop. But they type it in.
That's Morse code.
They Morse
You don't
coded
type
it.
in a telegram with Morse code.
Yeah. Well,
What?
Don't you?
They could. They type it in Morse
You
code
said it,
and
I
it
mean-
prints out.
What?
And it prints out as the letters. I've seen it. Like,
you rip it off and you read it.
yeah. So he's half right.
Well, fuck me then. I didn't know you said. I didn't know.
Telegram, but yeah,
I thought
they'll
it was
get
just
the
a method
postman.
of transmitting
Postman
a
will show
message.
up and they'll read it, and it's always like, Shah's wearing a pink shirt today. Stop. It's a
Yeah,
bad
okay,
friend
stop.
one. Stop. His hat says "Love you." Stop. Don't stop. Stop.
Nice.
Don't
okay.
stop.
Okay,
Anyway,
so I'm wrong. Yeah.
So I was. That's the first time
Yeah,
you admitted
well,
on air. Someone shared a reel, and I decided to watch the reel because it was about Shaggy and Scooby. And I love me some Mystery Machine and, Scooby Doo. And it got me to thinking because it was I've never seen the episode, or it might have even been one of their television movies. But from my understanding was Shaggy was having a bad dream or a bad trip, take it how you will.
Mm-hmm.
But Scooby transformed into a human.
Oh.
So my question to you guys is, if Scooby Doo was a human, what race of human would Scooby Doo be? And then I'll give you the answer.
Australian.
I said, what race? We're not a race.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like the Australian race.
Honestly, though.
What kind of dog is Scooby supposed to be?
He's a Great Dane.
Oh, right, of course.
So he'd be British. Or Danish.
Same name?
He'd be Danish then, right? He's a Great Dane.
What race would he be?
Oh, I guess that's more like
White?
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I thought the same thing.
Whoa. Time out. Caucasian. Sorry, we don't mean to offend any white listeners.
Yes.
Can we
Sure.
research where the term Caucasian came from? Because
You know
it
what?
might not
I did this once.
It might not
Do you
refer to
remember?
all
I don't.
white Europeans.
Yeah,
Or
I
does it?
think it's.
I don't know.
I'm not even gonna try and guess but I know I looked it up once because I was also curious. Like, how do you like? where does
To
Caucasian
me,
come
it's like it sounds like the whites trying to be Asian, so they just put a couple of letters in front of it. No.
Yeah, we're like Asians, but cocks.
Yeah.
We're Caucasians.
Caucasians.
Please chat amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
So-
So what ethnicity or race is Scooby?
Well, before I get there,
Oh boy,
I never
there's
even.
a side story coming.
No, it's on the main line. It's on the main thread.
Okay.
It's on the timeline variants.
Nice.
That I always was like, Shaggy is Shaggy.
Yeah.
Velma, Daphne, Fred, all just, Mystery Incorporated. And Scooby was just a dog that talked. I just took that as a given. Like, I didn't go, why is the dog talking? I was like, was he a human that got transformed into a dog? I'm like, no, I just was always like, Scooby is a dog. Scooby talks like a dog to Shaggy. And who knows, maybe looking back on the episodes as an adult, I would be interested to know if the other characters other than Shaggy actually directly communicate with Scooby, or if it's only like Shaggy only understands Scooby.
Kind of like Stewie and Brian in
Yeah.
Family Guy. Yeah.
But it's probably not. But anyway, I was like, this was the 60s, 70s that they created this television show. 1969, actually, fun fact. Because I have a story about that. So I don't need to tell that because this guy over here I know has got the definition of Caucasian. But anyway, I always was like, Scooby's a dog. Scooby's a dog.
Scooby's a dog.
Going in the comments of this reel big reveal time. Scooby was a stoner white dude.
So we were right with white.
Yeah.
So that's why I
But
got along so
he
well.
he turned into a dog?
He was Scooby the dog.
And then he turned into human form.
He turned into a human form. It
And
was
he
just
was
like
a
a
white.
bad dream. He was like, oh my God, Scooby is transformed. Like, it was like
Yeah.
reverse werewolfism or something. Instead of transforming into a wolf, he transformed from a dog into a human.
Yeah.
Imagine if Scooby's Asian guy.
Well, the comments were
I think
like,
of making him a white guy was the safest move.
Oh, very
Yeah,
safe.
Yeah.
because if they made it anything else, it'd be like, whoa.
Well, that
He's
was-
kind of dopey and like, and
that
they're
was some of the main comments
Yeah.
was like, well, first of all, there were a lot of people that were like, I've always seen Scooby as a black guy. And I'm like, where did you make that leap in your childhood that a dog was a black person? But anyway,
he's a dog.
he's a dog,
Yeah.
yeah. But they're like, no, we
Babs.
claimed him as a black guy. And then other people
We
were
claimed
like,
him.
Yeah, other people were like, okay, they did the safe bet of making him a white guy
Yeah.
because you can't have a white guy having a black person as a pet. And they're like, oh, the internet is weird and wonderful. Like, why would you even think that? I'm like, Scooby's a dog.
You know what's-
Scooby is a dog.
Yeah, but you know what's sad is that that's the fucking reality we live in. Is that in that episode when they were writing it, they could have been like, okay, we're gonna make Scooby whatever, and there will people that will be out there and be like, oh, you made Scooby Asian or you made Scooby black and he's got a white owner and that's racist and this and that and then the show's got to be canceled and you know what I mean? It's like, it's so fucking stupid. Like,
It's very
it doesn't
stupid.
matter. It doesn't matter what ethnicity he would have ended up being, but white is just the safest choice from a writer. And it's sad that there are those people out there that would interpret that any other way than it's just they had to pick an ethnicity and they picked white or black or Asian or
And even the
Indian
white
or
choice,
whatever.
people are still going to be offended.
Yeah. Well,
Some people are going to be offended no matter what, right?
my brain
Yeah.
logically went, okay, if Scooby was transforming, he's a Great Dane, so he's Danish, so he's most likely white
Or a Caucasian.
or Caucasian.
and
Full circle back.
the definition, please.
So the idea that white people are Caucasians partly stemmed from the widely held but erroneous belief that life originated in the Caucasus. Is that how I say it? Caucasus Mountains,
now.
which is where Noah's Ark landed after the deluge.
So somewhere in the
I
Middle
can't read-
East.
I can't
so
read
really,
English.
Caucasians should be brown.
Well, no.
But yeah, that's partly this belief that that people originated from the Caucasus Mountains.
So why would they be white?
Where are those mountains? I'd be curious about that because
Where's the Caucasus Mountains? And also, is that where they figure Noah's Ark landed? I mean, they haven't found it. What if they know it's there? Why don't they search it?
There's some. I've seen some places where,
Some conspiracy, maybe.
yeah, that they have found the wreckage of the ark up in the mountains because of the great flood from God rose the sea levels all the way up to the mountains,
Hey,
and then it
Hayden.
came down.
Let us know how you feel about God.
God, Yahweh.
The mountains, the Caucasus Mountains is a mountain range at the intersection of Asia and Europe,
So like Turkey,
around Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, so yeah, so the skin color would be less white than white Europeans.
Yeah.
Which is probably why on like your survey forms it doesn't say Caucasian anymore. It says white.
White.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. No, the reason why I want to talk to you guys, or just talk, because I fucking love conspiracy theories.
I like a good one.
And not even like, I don't believe in conspiracy theories.
Just like to be entertained by them.
They're just so entertaining to me. And there's certain ones that I absolutely don't like and despise and fucking hate. The people that like the Holocaust deniers and like the ones that think like Sandy Hook was like staged and actors, like those people can fucking crawl in a hole. You know what Well,
Walk off the flat earth.
I think some people are just believable and can be easily swayed. So I can't blame all the people that might believe it, but the ones that are like pushing it to people,
Right.
I think are fucking like Alex Jones and those guys are some of the worst people in the world, in my opinion. He's a big like Sandy Hook denier, like any conspiracy theory, anyways. But no, and so I love him from just strictly from like an entertainment purpose, and I love like getting in there and being like, how? And the Flat Earth's a prime example of one because, and there's a documentary on, I think it's on Netflix or Prime or something about it, and it's like because I want to get inside the minds of the people that like believe this stuff, and that's what's interesting to me. And actually, in that movie specifically, these people were trying to prove that the Earth was flat, and they came up with like 2 scientific experiments to test it.
Oh, and then I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then they
as they're
actually
doing it, they kind of just debunk their theory or
both
something. Like
times
Yeah.
they debunk their theory. And then like a true scientist, when you're doing, you don't go in with a conclusion, right? You go in with like, hypothesis, and you test it, and then the results of that test will either prove or disprove your hypothesis. So anyways, they did these 2 things and both disproved, and it's like, oh no, like no, like deny this.
Let's
like,
try
that's
another
can't be.
one.
And it was really funny because they were talking to one of the scientists. They also had other like scientists that they were interviewing, and one of them was like blown away. He's like, "What?" He's like, He's like, they came up with these ideas. He's like, "These are great." He's like, they would make great scientists. Like, this is what science is. He's like, obviously the other stuff is like you can't deny your results. But he's like, but no. So I don't know. So 2 questions. And maybe this falls flat and we move on, but I guess one, maybe two first, because I guess, are there any big conspiracy theories that you find really entertaining? And one, and two, like, if there was a conspiracy theory that you think, like, maybe you don't believe in conspiracies, but you think like, I could maybe see how this could be. And I can give you an example if you need, but yeah.
Well, for me, the second part, your latter part,
yeah.
The one that I can maybe see is something to do with the Titanic. And when we were in film school, there was a term when we had to do scenes from the TV show Titanic, and our teacher sent us to do some research, extensive research on.
Shout out Andrew.
Yeah. He told us to really dig into, just the topic. And I guess that's more for actors to prepare for, roles, and especially period pieces and stuff like that.
Especially period pieces.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I liked it. And so during the research, I stumbled across conspiracy theories, which pretty much that one is saying that it was kind of a planned would you say assassination of the world's most powerful people. There's one guy who, I can't remember the name, very famous, very rich family, and is it Rockefeller? No, maybe not. I shouldn't say if I don't know.
That's a big, yes.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's him, but anyways,
we'll start
sure, let's say it's JD.
Yeah.
And he, financed a lot of it and kind of wanted this voyage to take place, but he wasn't on the ship. He mysteriously got sick or something like that. I mean, it's a huge thing. Even if you were sick, I feel like maybe you would have wanted to go on this epic voyage. And of course, all these other rich people went on, and then it was kind of him just eliminating competition kind of thing.
Do you think he would have paid? Because obviously it hit an iceberg. There's kind of no denying that. There's a lot of witnesses. Unfortunately, people survived for him.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunate for everybody else.
Yeah.
So what do you think? How do you think it would have played out? You think he would have paid the guy to hit
apparently, so there were a lot of different things around this where he cut corners in the construction of it to make it, when people were dissecting the Titanic, and people even say it wasn't actually the Titanic that sunk. It was another ship called the Olympic, because the Titanic was being built and then was going to be ready in time. So they had a replica ship, which is the Olympic, to take its place and stuff like that. But that was an older ship and was out of date and whatever. There's a lot of this kind of proof that's out there that it wasn't even the Titanic. But what I read was they cut corners, and where a lot of the safety stuff got removed and, things like that. Again, I was basing off a couple websites and a few videos, and as I went down this rabbit hole, I just thought, of course, I don't know if it's true, but I can see rich people doing this kind of stuff to eliminate competition and even grow their empire bigger and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the extent of that.
I find it really. I can see, and I can find it really easy when you really dive into conspiracy theories.
How can you get lost in them?
How they can really pull people in.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always like, I kind of have mad respect for some people who go so deep. First of all, but they're like, oh yeah, I went to larrysworld.com and you got to check his YouTube channel. It's like, okay, well, they did their research, right? Yeah. But, okay. But they do their research, and I put that in air quotes, off of whatever sources. Okay. And they'll spend hours and hours and hours and hours. And so I can see how you can get sort of drawn into that. I certainly, I went through a phase in my life when I was younger, and it was sort of before, now you kind of know that there's all these bad actors out there and people that just kind of, like to spread misinformation and all that. But there's an early period in the internet and stuff when when I was young, I never would have thought of that people were doing that. So you kind of see something or you're hearing, you're like, oh yeah, oh what? Crazy. And you kind of go deeper into that. So, and I can respect it from that point. But I'm always kind of like, okay, you committed that much time into looking up or researching one side of it. What if, like for flat earthers, for a big one, I don't hate to always come back to them, but you know, if you put that much time into trying to prove and figure out and listen to why the earth is flat, there's so much information out there. Like, I wonder if they were to put that much time into, you know, the earth as we know it in the universe, if they would still believe that it was flat, you know? I feel like that's where there's an imbalance.
There's also
with
one
conspiracy
thing,
theories.
One thing now with a lot of conspiracy theories is that with the age that we live in with mobile phones, everyone having a camera with them at all times, it kind of makes it harder to believe certain ones like, you know, Bigfoot, Loch Ness, you know, stuff like that. Flat Earth one is interesting because if it is flat, can you imagine people would just die to go to the edge and take photographs?
Oh,
you know what I mean? To find the edge.
But what is on the underside? The other side of the wheel.
Well, and there's I mean, if you've looked into it,
floating around.
Space, yes.
Yeah, just floating around. It's really like if you actually look into some of these conspiracies, like in the flat Earth stuff, like it's actually really interesting, and I have to give them credit because they really have put a lot of work and effort into thinking about how
the mechanics of
it work and how the
very
sun
creative
actually
too.
goes like around a certain way.
Because that's the one I'm
and, like the equator and like it's really like the people that came up with this and are
sitting back and laughing,
but fucking smart. You know what I mean? Like
smart in that way. Smart in another way.
Like,
another way. Yeah. And then so they have to debunk every single space
science.
Photo of the Earth and stuff like that,
and every other planet,
and the fact that exactly
on the ISS,
and the fact that you know you can literally see eclipses, lunar eclipses, and that can't happen with a flat Earth.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of this kind of stuff. They'll debunk it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of the popular ones like the moon landing.
So the moon landing for me, or let's get to Hayden.
Please.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy here listening to you guys.
No, do you? What's the most popular one that you have? I mean, I'm
that you
sure
think could be real.
That could be real?
Or not could be, but like would have the most potential.
Has traction, maybe.
Has traction or
as being a hoax or being real.
No, so for me, the conspiracy theory that we never landed on the moon, to me, there's like that's one of two that I don't even want the second one. Maybe I used to think that back, like when I just explained myself. But if there was a conspiracy theory that I think maybe has the most potential to be true would be that the lunar landing was fake.
Staged.
Was staged because at that time there was a big, like height of the Cold War.
Space race.
U.S. Russia beat U.S. the first ones to get a satellite in space. First one to get a man in space. First one to like in a spaceship, but also like outside of the spaceship. And so U.S. they were trying to beat them, right? And so they had this terrible space program, and then JFK came in and said, okay, we're going to, by 1969, we're going to have somebody on the moon, like 4 years. And then in 4 years, with all this stuff going on, they were able to successfully launch a rocket after so many failures and land people on the moon. And then when you look into the actual conspiracy theory of how people are saying it's fake with the video, like they filmed it in Hollywood and it was all top secret.
Did the flag, direction, shadows, stuff like that.
And just in case, Russia was going to beat them, they wanted to have this so that they could say they landed first. So when you look into that one, you're like, it's not just like, hey, they said they went to the moon but didn't. It's kind of like there was that tension between those two superpowers of who was going to be the first. So you're like, okay, maybe they would go that far. And given the track record of like the program to get them there. So for me, that's the one that's kind of like, like, I wonder. I mean, I believe we've been to the moon. Don't get me wrong.
You can see it. You can see the moon landing on the moon. You can look it up, especially now with the how good telescopes are and whatnot. You can literally see.
Oh, you mean like you can see like the flag?
No, the module is still there.
Oh, the module.
So that's been debunked. That's AI. Cropped. No.
So, okay, but on that specific
No,
one,
time out. You're telling me
you asked me, and
there's a telescope that can see.
your standard like
No.
digital SLR through a telescope can get a very detailed image of the moon.
Well, I know.
And they also just released a photo that has like 80 million pixel freaking detail of the moon's surface.
Yeah,
But you can see it. Can you really? This is the first I'm hearing of this. I want to see that picture.
Because there's like a my brother is big into space and he has a pretty powerful telescope just in his backyard. I can see Saturn. You know what I mean? I literally see the rings and it's.
Speaking of that, actually, by the time this episode airs,
the
Saturn is the closest it is to Earth. It's like 65 million kilometers closer to Earth than its usual orbit, so you can see it with your naked eye.
the moon.
Saturn.
Oh.
The moon 65 million kilometers closer to Earth would be on the other side of us.
Be a lot of natural
You could
disasters.
also see the
Just
moon
go
with their
straight
eye
through.
right now. Yeah. No, I know they have high-powered ones, and I watch a lot of people on TikTok actually, and they capture it and they show it. It's really cool. I just didn't know you could see. I didn't know that was a thing where you could see the actual module on the moon.
I may be wrong. I'd love to be debunked, but somewhere my brain says that I've read somewhere that you can see it.
See, this is the problem. You can't trust everything you read on the internet. But you were going to answer about the conspiracy, which one, if there was one, that might be the most legit.
Legit? I don't even buy into it because my brain wants to always prove the opposite of what someone says if I think that it's wrong, if that makes sense.
Well, of course.
I grew up,
counter argument kind of thing.
yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
I grew up with scientists as my stepdad was a scientist and his father was a scientist. So science was a big thing in my family where we always search for the answer. And if you don't have the answer that you predicted, then you change your hypothesis like we spoke of earlier to either fit your answer or to try again.
Yeah.
In search of what the outcome will be.
Truth,
yeah. So with moon landings, I never really dug into it, but I always think of that line in the Chili Peppers song in Californication.
Dream of Californication.
Yeah, exactly. Space is the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Basement.
and I don't mean like all moon landings. I'm talking the first.
No, that's what I mean.
The specific one.
I look at that and I go, well, why did the Russians stop then if it wasn't real? If they were so dead set on getting there first, and then it was like, oh, actually, the US didn't land there, it's all a hoax, why would the Russians just stop their space program and not continue themselves?
Well, I think a really good hoax, like, people believed it. Like, that was the thing. But it was until later that people started coming out, right, and saying...
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like, if they were so set as a nation to achieve something... Why would you just stop because someone else did it first? I get the understanding of the fact that, oh, fuck, someone else did it first. Well, on to the next one. Let's try, beat them.
They just dropped everything.
Yeah. But I mean, like the Chinese haven't stopped trying to go to the moon.
Yeah.
They've increased their space program and all their other things that they're doing lunar-wise. They haven't been, like, deterred.
So is your argument that they went to the moon the first time or haven't?
No, it's not even an argument. My query is why would the opposing side in the space race at the time, right, just stop? Why would they have stopped if there wasn't any actual legitimacy behind it?
Yeah,
I
think the argument is that it was like it was believed to be, and then the conspiracy is like, I don't know how long the moon landing being fake has been a conspiracy, but it wasn't immediate, right?
No, but they've never gone.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, how many people have gone to the moon since the first landing?
6 or 7 landings on the moon.
And now they're talking about, tourist visits to the moon.
A moon base.
Yeah, moon base.
I'd go.
That'd be cool.
I asked Kate if they were going to colonize Mars, and they needed volunteers to settle there if she would come with me.
I feel like she would say no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's
not a
already had her children. It takes, what, 5 years, they're saying, to get to
6
there?
months.
6 months?
Bruh, if you leave you have to leave at a certain time, and it's
But you
No,
6 months.
okay, what's the distance from Earth to Mars?
it's 6 months, bro,
Earth to Mars?
to
to Mars.
fly there at its shortest trajectory.
Mars?
6 months. But then the stay that you'd have to be there, because when they're talking about sending astronauts there, I think it would have to be for a period of like 2 years or something, because to get there is 6 months, but you have to wait for a certain time.
Oh, yeah,
be able to
yeah,
land?
the orbit.
Well, the
Certain
orbit for its
to come back?
to get there, but then you also have to wait for a certain time to come back for the shortest distance.
Unless we can figure out how to use wormholes to space.
Yeah, I heard that they're working on it.
Well, there was some guy that spoke with Neil deGrasse saying that the fabric of
How long?
space
6 months?
was connected by wormholes.
Don't tell me 5 years. It doesn't take 5 years to fucking fly to Mars.
How long would it take a human to get to Mars? Mars, on average, 140 million miles from Earth. Rather than a 3-day lunar trip, astronauts bound for Mars would be leaving our planet for roughly 3 years.
Yeah, leaving for, but how long to get there?
Can we reach Mars in one? If all goes well, you get to the
6 to
planet
9
in about
months.
7 to 8 months.
So I'm saying
if all goes well.
Total trip
control.
is years, but
Yeah.
just to get there is not.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're going to settle, you're not going there and coming back.
Yeah.
You're
So
We
you
would have to have like a
8 months.
spacecraft that produced its own food crops, or unless it was all like freeze-dried stuff. I guess they can live on the space station for,
There's people that have done a year.
yeah.
And there's people trapped on there right now as
That's
we
what I was
speak.
saying.
Yeah.
I said that to Alex the other day, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, there's a couple of astronauts trapped there, and they don't know how long they're going to be trapped there. And she's
Yeah.
like, how does that happen? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But
Boeing, man. Boeing fucked up. But
oh, they've done that on the Earth as
yeah,
well.
they do that on Earth and in space. Good job, Boeing.
Good job, Boeing.
Rip up their contract.
Yeah. They asked us to be sponsors, but we told them no.
first.
Hard no. It's a hard no.
Actually, one of the guys that's trapped, I watched a documentary on him, and he did, I forget what it's called, there's something like 365 days in space, because they're wanting to test how a body reacts to being in space
shrink.
For that long. Yeah.
and minimal gravity for that long.
You shrink. There was like a set of twins that were astronauts, and one guy went to space, and when he came back, he was shorter than his brother. They were identical twins.
Interesting, you'd be shorter
Yeah.
because you don't have gravity pushing
Pushing
you
you
down.
down.
You have it expand.
I can't remember how long they have to work out too in space because
Yeah, you got to keep up.
you have to
otherwise
work out a lot. I feel
your
like.
muscles would atrophy probably.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go down a quick list of the top, and then if there are any one, I'm just
I have
some of them,
opinions on
some
all
of
of them.
some of them maybe just interesting. Go okay. So this is according to Esquire. This is the
Oh, good publication.
the 30 best crazy conspiracy theories that people actually believe.
I love the
Actually.
Sasquatch one, just to jump in, because
Yeah.
growing up, you hear of Bigfoot, but then when I came here, everyone's like, oh yeah, Bigfoot's in BC. And I was like,
Yeah, he is.
What? Yeah, and now it's like,
And he travels back and forth between Washington State. But anyways,
Sasquatch.
but I was like, there isn't just one. There's definitely, if there are giant.
you have to reproduce.
Yeah, there's heaps. And I went to Harrison Hot Springs the other week with Alex to just have a mini vacation away. It's only from where I am, south of the border.
20 minutes.
It's only like,
Yeah.
it's less than an hour. So it's really close. But anyway, they've got like Sasquatch Inn on the way up there and whatnot. And I was like,
Sasquatch in.
yeah. I was like,
That's where he stays.
I was like, people have got it all wrong. What? Sasquatch isn't, he's got big feet, yeah. She's got big
But he's
feet.
got an even bigger cock.
Yeah. So they always are wondering
Can you
why
imagine
there's
his
this like
micro-penis?
line between his feet. It's just not a tail. It's just his dong.
Yeah, just on Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But I was like, hey, maybe he's not big. Maybe he's not 8 foot tall. She is.
I've seen the videos. He's big.
But maybe he could be like pygmy Bigfoot with giant ass feet, and people are searching high, and they always miss it because he's lower than the eyesight.
That would be
I
hilarious.
like this.
I
What if,
like that.
What if it's
Just like a
actually
hobbit. It's a
bird?
hobbit.
What if it's
It's
a
a hobbit or a
bird?
dwarf. Yeah.
What if it's
giant?
Yeah, because he can fly, and that's why nobody sees him because he lands every once in a while. to walk.
Just covered in
with,
mud.
with toes. A bird with toes.
Bird with toes. Yeah, with human
Birds
feet.
have human feet. So I was at work the other day, just quickly to go on this, Shao, we'll get to your list. I was, and a guy was listening to a Sasquatch conspiracy theory podcast. And they were having guests on, and they were talking about the sightings, and they were getting into all like these different details, and talking about how he is for sure real. And I found myself intentionally walking by him several times, slowly looking for stuff, because I was like, again, going off of like, it's fascinating to me to hear these people talk with such conviction about something, and you're like, do these people believe it, or are they doing it for content and clickbait, and like, I don't know. And then,
I've thought about something like that before, because maybe a long time ago, even I'm talking about way back when people, there would be natural forest fires or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen a bear with no fur, like fire singed off all its fur?
They look freaking
They look
freaky.
monster. They look like monsters. And so I always thought, imagine seeing one.
A bald
I guess
grizzly
you
bear.
wouldn't know it's a
you'd be
bear.
You
like,
don't know what it is, and you'd be terrified, and you'd run back to your village and say,
Yeah.
I just saw a monster. Like, I saw a monster.
Yeah.
It was like terrifying. It's big, size of, a big bear or whatever. And
it's as big as a bear.
as big as a
even bigger.
Yeah, and it was all like had like it was, whatever. And then that's maybe how some urban legends start off.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
And so I wonder if someone saw what they believed was a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot, not knowing it was something else that was deformed in a way or whatever. And, because if you see something like that, it's going to be hard for you to explain to someone or convince someone otherwise, but you know what you saw. I
Yeah.
saw this thing was on, 2 feet, maybe like on how bears go on 2 feet sometimes and
Yeah.
whatever. And who knows, right? Yeah, who knows the origins of that? But
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
about that too.
Yeah.
When people, early settlers, maybe when they didn't know what, actually, I don't know, this is a bad example, but if they didn't know what shooting stars were and they see something fly, like, what is that? And then that can be, they can come up with legends
Yeah.
or stories from that. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So
I was just going to say, before we get back to your list, because we haven't even started it yet.
it'll be quick.
Freaking, what's it called? Abominable snowman.
Oh, the Yeti.
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 Yeah. Related to Sasquatch, total different. It's one of those things in cultures where completely different sides of the world have the similar.
Right.
So yeah, obviously there's either some kind of species out there, or
So that's the one that you think, like, that's the conspiracy theory that you think has the most.
I think so, because there's. I saw a thing recently where, granted, it was Ricky Gervais talking about.
Oh, it's true.
It's true. It must be his act. But about how many different species of animals there are in the world. And he's like, there's only 5 million different types of animals in this modern day, which is 1% of the entire animals that have existed in the evolution of the Earth. Sorry for those people that think that the Earth is only 6,000 years old. Well, even if it was only that old, there's been 99% more animals in those past 6,000 years. Anyway, so, and then amongst that, there's an infinite amount of subspecies of the same things.
Yes.
So there's got to be some type of, and the amount of extinct animals that we think are extinct that still exist in the deep forests and deep jungles or deserts or whatever that we never see because they're so good at
And elusive.
keeping themselves alive. There's bound to be something or some things across the world, especially if you look at the way that the Earth split and the continents were created, there would have had to have been some sort of species that's why you find the
Crossed
same,
over,
same sort of things in certain countries. Like you have
Antelope
raccoons
and deer.
here, and you have them in Europe as
Red
well.
pandas and raccoons.
Whereas Australia has its own unique animals because I don't know, it's
They
so
all
far away.
they left as quick as they could.
Yeah, they're so far away from everything else. But so there's obviously, my brain goes, Sasquatch and the Yeti related same species.
He's a fucking Bigfooter.
Bigfoot.
I am a Bigfooter.
He's not even like, oh, this one might be. He's like,
Well, you
he's
know what?
fucking like,
He's
yeah, no,
said-
Sasquatch
he's
is
said.
real.
I'm not going to go searching for him, but I like to think that there is some, the missing link. I love the thought of the DNA differences between apes and humans is so very close, but yet we're so different. So why could
Right.
there not be some kind of, instead of Homo sapiens and Cro-Magnon or
Neanderthals.
whatever,
Neanderthals are the closest. Like, yeah.
There was 3 types or whatever there was, wasn't there? Or 2 types that created modern man. What if,
Homo erectus.
what if there was
Homo
another
so-
one that
something.
created the others? So they're out there.
I think going off that, like, I agree, there's so many, like, I forget what it is, like, stat wise, how many new species are discovered a year.
Right. Quite a lot.
But it's quite a lot. But they're not fucking Sasquatches. They're tiny little insects
No.
or bugs or like they're
Yeah.
small things that people come across when they're in the jungle searching. And they're like, it's kind of like an already existing species. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think it would
Right.
be like, I would love for like, because I think if a Sasquatch were to exist, they would have to be really smart.
Yeah.
And they would have to be like, to be able to keep from us humans that long. They'd have to be smart and stealthy.
Yeah, because the thing with that is you're dealing with something that's massive. Sasquatch
Yeah.
is supposed to be like, what, 8 feet or something?
As we just discussed.
Yeah, well,
Quite small,
the
big,
popular belief of Sasquatch with, like, the blurry photo
Yeah.
of like, the one walking like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He's
Looking
a
at
big,
the camera.
He's a big bastard.
You know,
With a wristwatch.
He's like a Wookiee.
Yeah, with the- yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
He's
like,
like a Wookiee. That's a good
Yeah.
point, yeah.
and so with something that big, you should most definitely come across tracks or poop or
There would be something.
very something. And like I said, now when everyone has a camera, it's like it's harder for that to be a real thing in my mind.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Unless they're really smart and
Unless they're really
crafty and actually dwarfs. Or have
I like
wings.
that theory.
Or,
I like that
they're,
theory.
or they're all
Yeah.
playing, in the NBA or something.
What
full-
are you saying?
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
That anyone that's above 7
Oh, they've all
foot,
just shaved.
They've all just
and-
shaved and they got trained to speak.
Ooh.
Speak
I didn't expect us to
English.
start a new.
Oh, a
Conspiracy
new
theory.
conspiracy.
Do I have time to really quickly go over?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
We don't have to. We don't have to.
No,
what do you
we
call
got
it?
time, bro.
So number one is, like we said, moon landing.
Fake.
Real.
Number 2 is government killed JFK. Okay.
Real.
No, I believe it was the mob.
Okay.
I think it was the mafia.
1 or 2
The
shooters.
New Orleans mob boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3 is
One shooter.
COVID-19.
There's no grassy knoll.
COVID-19 was engineered by the media.
Fake.
Earth has been sucked into a black hole.
Fake. Although I'd like to actually
The
read that, about that
galaxy,
one.
maybe, or the Milky Way.
No, the black hole's at the center of our galaxy. That's how it works.
Only one black hole?
In a galaxy, in our galaxy, the center of our galaxy, yeah. There's lots in the universe, though.
I have to
Where's
look-
the
I have to
one
look
that's
more
in
into
our
that one.
galaxy?
It's the center of our galaxy. That's what's, galaxies spinning because, right, gravitational pull.
Yeah.
And nothing is more dense and has more gravitational pull than a black hole. So that's what's keeping, what else would be keeping
Like a
our
drain
galaxy?
kind of thing?
So you know what's interesting? And because we always know about
Tito.
gravity, like an orbit, right? So what's really cool, and this is why astronauts, they say, everybody says zero gravity, they call it microgravity. Because
Microgravity.
what's actually happening when you're orbiting the Earth is you're in a constant state of falling. It's not that you're not experiencing gravity, it's you never hit, right? Because we think of it like when you see the photos, it's like Earth, and then the moon circles it like this. But what we also know is that Earth is moving through space
Yeah.
at a certain speed. So it's actually the moon's going like this,
Like a
right?
little spiral thing.
And because, like Einstein, when he came up with the fabric of space-time, right? Because we used to think of space as nothing, but he's like, how can it be nothing? So if you think of like a bed sheet, right? And if I was to drop a heavy object in a bed sheet, it would kind of go
Yep.
concave around evenly. And so the orbit of like the moon is kind of like, it's almost like vortexing. Because as the Earth moves, it's creating this
Little cone
shape,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's that. So when astronauts are in space, they know that the International Space Station has to travel at a certain speed to orbit or to not basically be sucked in by Earth's gravity. So what's happening is it's actually falling, but because the Earth is round and it's traveling so fast, but like, so say it's not traveling, it would fall like this. But because it's traveling fast, it's able to constantly do that. So you're actually in gravity, but you're not experiencing it.
We'll get Neil deGrasse Tyson in the next episode to talk more about it.
Well, he might have to be a couple away. He told me. Anyways, he's got a tour.
Can you shoot him a text?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to whiz through the last 25 because... Okay, so... 25. Disney created Frozen as a distraction. That's one. I don't even know what it means. The Denver International Airport is the Illuminati's headquarters.
Yep, that was
I like
real.
that.
Yep.
The Earth is hollow. That's dumb as fuck.
That's the head of flat?
What's that?
That's a head of flat?
The head of flat?
It's a head.
That's
of
a head
flat.
of fed.
Oh, I'm not sure if these are in order.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. The world is flat is number 8.
Oh, okay.
Prince Charles is a vampire. Real. Real.
Yeah.
Real.
It's pretty old.
We weren't supposed to.
And then
talk
number
about
10 is Bigfoot is real.
Yeah.
Number 11 is the Nazis had a secret base in Antarctica.
True.
Number 12 is we're all living in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Could also be true.
That is actually one that I could get behind.
The moon isn't real.
It's just a big
Yeah,
flat
that's
slide.
It's a ball
Try
of
harder.
cheese.
That's bad. Yeah.
Oh, Titanic didn't actually sink. Here we go.
Nice.
It actually
Number-
landed in New York.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Number 15 is Apollo 17 wasn't the last moon mission. Cares?
Could also be true because there's like this. Well, what did Trump create? The Space Force.
Oh yeah, Space Force.
Did you see the Steve Carell?
No,
fucking
the TV show.
Yeah. Number 16, zombies can rise from the dead. Cool.
True.
What? Of course. How? Like, yeah.
Bill Gates is making fake snow.
Well, a lot of people already do make fake.
Yeah,
Grouse
like, I
makes
don't
its
get
own
it.
fake snow.
I don't get it.
Oh, like all the snow he's making?
He's just shooting up into
He's
the weather.
making all this snow.
Yeah, conspiracy. He was creating
Who
fake
wrote this
snow that
list?
burns instead
Esquire.
of melts.
Esquire, you're losing your credibility.
Oh, yeah, this is bad.
The Betts I don't know what the Betts mystery is. The Betts mystery sphere is alien material.
Okay.
Cool. Amelia Earhart was eaten by crabs. That one's. I think that's real.
Yeah, because she crashed out on an island, didn't she? I've seen a couple of things of that. She got the word out that where she was. Oh, they're turning the lights out on us again.
Like it, last 10.
But I won't get into it.
Loch Ness Monster lives in Scotland.
Yeah,
Okay,
everybody knows that.
5G causes cancer and COVID-19.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So true.
Solar flare caused the Titanic to sink.
Not Titanic.
The Black Knight satellite is an alien spacecraft. That's cool.
I like
want
that
that to be real. Sirens were responsible for shipwrecks.
True.
Obviously.
They're so
We've
hot.
all seen the movie.
Yeah. Planet X is home to a world called Nibiru.
Oh.
Nibiru.
Okay.
Are they
Yeah.
still saying that Planet X exists? Like, is it a planet? If Pluto gets downgraded to a mass or whatever it is, Planet X was past Pluto.
It's like a dwarf planet.
Yeah.
Dwarf planet.
Pluto's a dwarf planet.
That's where
I like this
Mars is
one.
from, isn't it?
Queen Elizabeth I was a man. That one's. Have you seen the photo?
And she wrote all of Shakespeare's plays, apparently.
Yeah. See, they didn't even touch on some there that like are big ones.
Airplane exhaust trails are filled with chemicals, chemtrails.
Yeah.
Kristen was huge into that. The
I know some
Yeti
people that
lives
are
in
big into
Asia.
chemtrails.
The Abominable Snowman lives in Asia.
Yeah, he's like in Tibet or something.
COVID-19 vaccine has 5G chips inside of it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the government's controlling us right now.
And last one,
Government's
internet
controlling us
routers
right
can lead to harmful 5G radiation.
Okay.
Why is the 5G getting such a bad
You know
rap?
what's a really big one that didn't make it that cut, which I'm surprised about, is 9/11 being an inside job, because that was like a huge one for
That should be.
like
Esquire, come on.
I'm surprised. Like they have. Anyways, Hayden, take us out of here. We gotta
Okay,
go.
guys. As you can see, I'm not big into conspiracy theories, but it's fun to listen to.
But
you
you're
guys.
the only one who believes one. That's why.
I believe a lot of things, but I like to look at the rationale behind why it could be real. But that's why I was like, when you brought this discussion up, I was like, I want to avoid political conspiracy theories because there are a lot of those. I used to work with a guy who nonstop was about conspiracy theories, and
You should have him on here.
No, I did not want to see that guy ever again. He was the biggest perv and creep ever. No,
You should
thank
have
you.
got him on here.
Yeah.
So you should
That
be
would've been awesome.
You should be in jail, bro. That girl that's walking down the street, she's like 12. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Anyway, that's a whole
I
other
hate
story.
him. Yeah, let's
He
keep.
worked with Donald.
Yeah.
He worked with Donald. Or at McDonald's.
No,
What?
with Donald.
Anyway, thank you for tuning into another episode of Chummy Thumbs. You can find us on all your major social networks.
Let us know your favorite conspiracy theory.
Yeah, shoot us a message on any platform. We're on all of them. Until next time, keep on
Inspiring.
inspiring to Chummy Thumbers.
Bigfoot's real.